Hey everyone, and welcome to Timbits of Wisdom.
The advice show for grown-ups by Timbits.
My son has tons of assists, but he's upset he has no goals.
You can't always be the winner.
How can I relax?
Get more sleep.
What do you think I should do?
Just talk to them. The other team has feelings too.
What's the meaning of life?
Just have fun. Who is asking that question?
Like, well, what's wrong with the car? Like, what happened? Why'd you have to get towed here? And I'm trying to think quickly. I'm thinking on my feet. Because I'm trying to word it in a way where they only fix that problem and no other issues. Because mechanics love to squeeze in a few extra repairs and tax you more, and I really couldn't afford it. So I tell him, listen, dude, car stalled out on me, started sputtering, won't turn back over. I don't know what's wrong with it. He's like, all right, we're going to need to take a look at it. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, how long do you think it's going to take? Like, I've got to be up north. I was in the middle of like a road trip. How long do you think it's going to take? And I realize also that my bag is still in the car. So after he tells me that it could take him until the next day, I go and grab my bag out of my car before they start working on it. And I realize pretty quickly the situation that I'm in. I have no car, barely any money, and I have pretty much my entire fate in this cracked out mechanic's hands. This guy looked like he smoked tweak for sure, but he had to be my hero, so I had no choice but to put some faith in him. So I grabbed my bag out of the car, and I completely forgot to grab my Coke out from under the seat, but I didn't really give a shit at this point. Now, across the street, well, not quite across the street, it was a bit of a walk, like a 5 or 10 minute walk, but I could see the sign from this repair shop is this best value, I don't know if it was best value, great value in some sort of shithole hotel. The kind of hotel that people who smoke meth for a living go to. I'm not talking like your average person who needs a night to stay. No, I'm talking like you're kind of person who pays by the week and is going to break almost everything in the room during some meth-induced rampage. This is like their home headquarters, their home turf, the tweaker turf, if you will. But this is the only damn hotel I can see, and I don't have the money to blow for an Uber because I haven't paid for anywhere to stay for the night, and I also haven't paid for the repairs on my car. So I get over to this hotel, and it was like $50 or $60 to get a room for the night. And the guy told me that he might not have it done till tomorrow, which means it's not going to be fucking done until tomorrow. So I book a room at this hotel because better safe than sorry. I book a room and I get my room key and I go over to my room and it smells like fucking death. The musty, dusty, crusty scent that greeted me when I walked in this room was unbelievable. There's also no Wi-Fi at this hotel, but I don't know how, in 2019, there's no Wi-Fi at the damn hotel, but we're not even going to get started on that. So, they had employee Wi-Fi, they didn't have fucking guest Wi-Fi. So I get in my room, and I shit you not, it smells like I invited like 15 people over and asked them all to piss on every surface in the room. It was disgusting, but I had no choice. I had just spent almost all of the remainder of my money on this fucking room. I had like maybe $15 left, right? I had a little over $200 at the beginning of the day. The tow in this dog shit, piss-covered hotel ate up all of it. So I get in my room and I throw my bag down and I immediately call my mom and I'm like, Mom, I'm in a pickle. I'm not going to make it tonight, I don't think. Can you bum me some money to pay for my car repairs? And she's like, yeah, like I could send you a little bit. Like, how much do you need? I tell her, I don't really fucking know how much this is going to cost. She tells me that she can only send me like $100, $150. But I'm like, yo, that helps a lot. That's plenty. Thank you so much. Like, I fucking need that. So she lended me a little bit of money. But I realized that was not going to be enough to get my car fixed. There's no way. I was figuring minimum, maybe it was a spark plug issue. And even then, that would still probably cost more than $100 or $150. So I'm scrambling to figure out how to make some extra money. I'm asking all around. I'm hitting up every sponsor, the like 2 people that I worked with at this point, because my channel was much smaller at this point in time, mind you, asking if they wanted to book another deal for a discount, as long as they paid up front. I was hustling, dude. I was trying to figure it out. Luckily, I had a sponsor reply and take the offer, and they sent me like $400 up front, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. You know, like I think I'm all right. I could breathe a little bit. Now, I left my Coke in the car, and I didn't really think about it until I got to the hotel and really felt like doing some. But it was too late to go back. So I'm sitting there, and all I've got is my little bit of mid and some blunts. So I roll up, and I start smoking in this hotel room, and I turn the TV on. And this hotel, you know, it was kind of surprising because they had absolutely no Wi-Fi, but the TV was actually a flat screen. It was like a 720p flat screen, but it wasn't a box TV, and that really surprised me. I was like, wow, they're putting some love into this place. So I'm sitting in this hotel, and I'm just waiting anxiously. I end up calling the mechanic only like 2 hours later. I probably pissed him off by calling so soon to ask how my car was doing. He's like, yeah, we're not going to have this one done till tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, like, do you have any idea what's wrong with it? And the guy's like, we haven't even fucking looked at it yet. And I'm like, oh, shit, dude. Like, this guy doesn't give a shit. So I spend the rest of the night in this hotel room just smoking some fucking mid. The remainder of it, I'm trying to ration this shit, dude. It's like I'm in a survival game here, dude. I'm on some Hunger Games. I'm rationing out my weed. It's like it's the apocalypse for me. I have no fucking food. So I end up walking to the gas station about a block or so away from this hotel and grabbing like just a bunch of shitty cheap snacks, like little bags of chips and a couple bottles of water, because I was not going to be caught drinking the tap water out of that faucet, dude. Someone had probably rubbed their fucking cock against that faucet, dude. This was a prostitute hotel. I'm not folding. So I grabbed some waters, I grabbed some snacks, and I go back to the room, and I ended up knocking out pretty early that night. And the next day I woke up, and I remember I woke up, and thank fuck, the mechanic had called me and left a voicemail, and he was like, hey, I got your car ready, like it was a fairly easy fix, it's up and running, like the car started fine, and he told me it was the spark plugs. Now, I don't know how we got it running, because I don't believe it was actually the spark plugs, because I kept having this issue after this. However, this guy got the car running. What I think might have actually happened is there might have been some loose cable or something, and he just slapped some new spark plugs in and was like, yeah, dude, we'll charge for that. Because I kept having the stutter issue even after this. But I got my car back, and it lasted me long enough to at least the following day get up north and get my shit and get back home. With some stutters, but no other breakdowns, thank God. This was probably one of the closest calls I've ever had with the cops, so I felt like I had to share it. I thought it would make a good video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, gamers. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler of a video. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Drop a like if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also, the new merch site is now live at goblin420.com. We've got brand new products. We've brought new life to old designs and new ones. And we've got some fire holiday merch waiting for you guys. Make sure to order soon so you get it in time by Christmas. And also, everyone who purchases a piece gets a personalized audio message thanking them from me. Every single purchase, without fail, gets one. So, head on over to the merch website now, and don't forget to use code GOBLIN50. The first 50 people that make a purchase will get a special discount. Hurry up, don't wait, head over to goblin420.com and enjoy the new merch. Without further ado, let's dive right into the video. So this took place back in my high school days, almost right after I dropped out of high school during my senior year. Now, at this point, Ashton had already moved away. He was typically my go-to guy for acid, but since he moved away, I had to find other sources, and one of those sources quickly became Michael. Now, he's a very common character in my stories here. You guys know plenty about him, but during this summer, we had a brief little stint leading up to when I went to rehab where we hung out quite a lot. We kind of reconnected a bit. You know, the beginning of my senior year and the beginning of that summer before I dropped out, I didn't really hang out with him that much. But towards the end of that summer, once I dropped out, that's when I really started kicking it with him because I realized that all my friends were still in school all day, but he never went to school for shit. So we could do whatever the hell we wanted. So on this day, I woke up and I hit him up and I said, hey, let's kick it. I'm bored. I got fuck all to do today, but I got money and I got weed. So let's make it happen. I was sitting pretty, you know. I had a little bit of money at this point because I'd been working at a grocery store fairly close to me. I worked at a Jewel Osco. For those of you guys who live in Illinois, you probably know what that is, or at least northern Illinois. My God was at a shit job. Paid me like $7.50 an hour, but I got to chain smoke like no other. I smoked like at least probably 6 cigarettes a shift. I was going crazy. But back on topic. So, you know, I had a little bit of money. I had just gotten paid. So I hop in my car and I go drive over to Michael's house, and it's fairly early in the afternoon. It's like just past noon, right? Maybe 1 o'clock at this point. I get over there and I brought the little bit of weed I had, and once I get over there, I dap him up and we're chilling, and he's got no one home with him, and he tells me that he's got a little bit of acid, which of course, that piques my interest. I'm intrigued. I'm down for any form of acid. Get me fucked up. I want a trip, right? So, I ask how much he has, right? I'm like, yo, how much do you have? I'm probably trying to grab some. He told me he had probably enough to sell me however much I wanted. So I was trying to think of how much to buy because I'd just gotten paid, yeah, but I also wasn't trying to blow all my money immediately because I still wanted to go buy more weed. So I settled on buying 3 tabs. He was the homie, you know, he gave them to me for a good price. I think he only charged me like fucking $15 maybe. He charged me like barely more than he paid for them, you know? So it was always nice grabbing them from him. Like, yeah, he'd make some money on me, but still, he would give me the homie hookup because I kicked it with this dude all the time. I'd known him for years at this point, probably like 2 years at this point. So we're chilling out and I get my tabs, but we don't quite take them yet because first we decide that we want to smoke up. I was originally not even planning to take my tabs on this day, really. I kind of just wanted to save them because Michael didn't really have anyone else to invite over. And, you know, tripping can be kind of fun, you know, just hanging out with like someone else or just doing nothing but sitting in a house. However, at this point, I'd been tripping a lot lately. So I wanted to do fun shit. I was tired of the, oh, let's sit and watch movies kind of trip. I wanted to do a fun fucking acid trip. So we decided that we weren't going to drop our acid right away, but instead, we were going to smoke. So we matched on a couple blunts. Luckily, he had some wraps. So we matched and we rolled up and we smoked 2 blunts. We're chilling out. We're sitting in his living room and we're chiefing. It's a good day, right? We're trying to figure out what to do with the rest of our day, but everyone else is in school pretty much. So it's not like we can go anywhere else or there's any functions or anything. So we decide that we want to go grab ourselves some food. We opt to go to a sit-down restaurant because we had quite a lot of time to blow, you know? There was no point in going to a McDonald's just to go sit back in his living room and be back at square one. We wanted to go do some shit. So we hop in my car and we drive to the beloved Applebee's that is fairly close to Michael's house. Now, I couldn't really tell you why we decided Applebee's. I think it's just because it's pretty cheap, and we did not want to spend very much money on our lunch. So off we went to Applebee's. Now, we get in here, and I hadn't realized at this point that Michael brought tabs with him, right? I didn't bring my tabs with me. I just left them sitting on the table at Michael's house because we were going back there anyways after our food. So I didn't even think to bring them with me. But Michael brought a shit. This guy had like a 10 strip in his pocket at Applebee's. So we're sitting at this table and, I'm feeling pretty stoned. I'm feeling good. We place our orders, not our main orders, but we decide that we want to get some chips,
Showcase your company with high-quality branded merchandise like shirts, drinkware, bags, and gadgets. We'll set you up with one of our design experts and distribute your products to where you need them. Staples Solution Shop. Solutions to grow your business.
Our world is on the brink of annihilation. The lost Ark is shattered and forgotten. Yet there are those who refuse to give up the fight. A savage berserker from the land of frost, whose unbreakable resolve may yet lead to our salvation. Demonic hordes ravage Arcasia. Their numbers are legion, an excellent test for his blade. His fury splits their ranks, rage channeled through cold steel. Another conflict overcome, countless more on the horizon, in his pursuit for the lost Ark.
We got some time to blow. We're not in no rush to eat and dip. So, let's get some chips. At least maybe eat an appetizer a little bit, So we order, I don't know, it was like chips and guac or some shit, chips and salsa. I don't know. It was some goddamn tortilla chips. Probably straight out of a bag. Who gives a fuck, dude? Probably a great value bag at that. It's Applebee's after all. But either way, chips are chips. So we're chilling out at the Applebee's. We're chatting it up a little bit. And Michael tells me that his girlfriend's on the way. She's like, yo, do you mind if my girl comes and joins us? I'm like, yeah, no problem, but I don't think I've ever met her before. At this point, he had just started dating a girl who we're going to call Alyssa. Probably one of the most insignificant characters that's ever going to be in one of my videos, because this guy dated this girl for maybe like 3 weeks. It was the most short-lived thing ever. I don't know what kind of mess happened with them. I know someone cheated on someone. I don't know who did what. I'm not clear on the situation, but all I know is they were a train wreck. But that's beyond the point. He tells me that Alyssa's coming, and I'm like, bet, dude, sounds good. I don't mind at all. I'd like to meet her. So we're chilling out and we're eating our chips. And we get, the waitress comes back and she asks if we're ready to place our main orders. So we do. I made the mistake of getting a steak. When I go out to a restaurant, I kind of have a policy where there's certain things on menus that I won't get. Like if I go to like a place similar to Applebee's, like Chili's, for example, or even, well, no, Red Robin's a bad example because all they do is burgers, but I don't like to get a burger at a restaurant, like a sit-down place, because I feel like I could just go to Five Guys and get one that's probably better than the sit-down places and walk out with it. So my policy is when I'm at restaurants, like 99% of the time, I will not get a burger unless it sounds insane. The problem with that is that Applebee's menu is not very big. It never has been. And the majority of it is fucking burgers. So if you're not getting burgers, you're getting chicken tenders. But the problem with that is I'm not 8 years old, so I want something more than that. So I opt to get the sirloin steak. Now, my fucking God, it was not great, but it didn't really matter, and we'll get to why in a little bit. we place our orders and we mention to the waitress, like, hey, we have one more person coming, so could you maybe hold off on, like, bringing us that food until someone else gets here? And she's like, oh, yeah, no problem. I'll just keep this written down, and whenever whoever else comes, like, I'll take their order too. So we're sitting there eating our chips, and they do give you a generous portion, I will admit. And finally, Alyssa shows up. The waitress was pretty on point at this point. She noticed Alyssa get there, and almost immediately when she sat down next to Michael, she came over and, like, asked if she wanted a drink or something like that, and told us to let her know, kind of flag her down when we're ready to order, right? So we're like, bet, dude, this waitress is on point, we got a good meal ahead, and now I get to meet Alyssa. So I introduce myself, I'm chatting it up with her a little bit, getting to know her, asking about how they met or whatever. I'm pretty sure they met through Tinder, which is always a recipe for disaster. That's just never going to go well. I've been in one relationship with someone I met off Tinder, and that was an absolute hell in a cell train wreck. So, typically those Tinder relationships don't go too great, and this was another example of one of those. So I'm chatting with her a little bit, kind of talking to her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we met on Tinder. We've known each other for a couple weeks now. Yada yada." Just kind of telling me about herself, and she was not like the best conversationalist, right? She was kind of quiet. So I quickly went back to talking to Michael, and Michael's like, "Well, now that Alyssa's here, we could place our order. Once we place our order, let's drop these fucking tabs." I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I didn't bring my tabs. And Michael's like, dude, I'll give you one and just give me one of yours when we get back. And I'm like, bet. You're a genius, no problem. So the waitress comes back over maybe 3-4 minutes later, and Alyssa places her order as well. I don't know what the fuck she got to eat. All I remember is I got the steak and Michael got chicken. I think it was chicken tenders. I don't know, chicken fingers, whatever the fuck, dude. It was some chicken. That's all I know, right? He also eats like an 8-year-old. I don't know why. Oh, I have a lot of friends who do this, dude. We'll go to like a nice restaurant. Like my friend Kyle is the worst example of this, dude. We will go to like a nice burger place or like a nice restaurant. Like in particular, there's this Italian place I remember we went to. And it was called, I don't remember what the fuck it was called, but it was this nice Italian place. We sit down, and this guy orders a steak with nothing on it, just a bun, and, like, barbecue sauce. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, dude, we're grown-ass men, bro. This is fucked, right? This ain't right. But, hey, let the man eat, I guess. So, that's kind of how Michael ate as well. He was a big, like, chicken fingers and ketchup at the restaurant kind of guy. But me, I like a meal that I feel like I can't go get in a drive-thru. That's what I want at the restaurant. So I order that. And after we all place our orders, I got the steak and all that. She confirmed everything with us and made sure everything was correct and left, right? We were ready to rumble. So Michael pulls out this little tinfoil rectangle in his pocket and unwraps it. And there they are, the beautiful tabs that he had. Now, he slides me one across the table, and I just slapped this thing in my mouth, no hesitation. I didn't go to the bathroom. I didn't do shit, because I'm like, dude, no one's looking. And even if they are, what are they going to do? I'll swallow it, asshole. Get fucked. Checkmate. So I've got my tab on my tongue, and I figure, I'll probably have the tab down the hatch around when the food gets here. It'll take maybe 20 or 30 minutes. It's an Applebee's. And then we'll eat, and we'll get out of here, and we'll probably just start to come up, right? We thought, at least, that we timed it very well. We thought we were on some big brain shit. We're sitting there and we're like, yes, dude, this is fucking fire. So, we're sitting at the table, and Michael's got his tab on his tongue, and Alyssa opts to not take any. She's like, no, I'm good. I drove here, yada yada. We drove here too, but we're just stupid and reckless, so we didn't factor that in. It was too late. Michael and I already had our tabs. So we're sitting, and we killed all the chips at this point, and we're sipping on our drinks, and we're waiting for our meals to show up. Quite a while goes by, maybe like 30 minutes or so, and there's people that are starting to actually come into the restaurant now, At this point, it's like probably, I don't know, it's maybe like 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon. So at this point, people are kind of starting to come in. When we first got there at like fucking, we got there like not even 2 o'clock yet. But when we first got there, it was fucking empty. There was like maybe 2 other people eating in the restaurant. But now there was people starting to come in and starting to get a little busier. So we're sitting there and we're hanging out waiting for our food. And I realize pretty quickly as we're waiting that I'm starting to come up. Now, I don't have any visuals quite yet, but you just get that feeling going through you where you know that you're coming up. You know that the acid is definitely hitting because you get that tingling warmth going through your veins. You feel it in every bone in your body. You'll just be sitting there and it's like someone tickled your funny bone in a certain way, and you're just like, oh shit. Here we go. It's not like you go numb or anything, but you just feel this little warmth inside you, this tingly warmth almost, and you're like, yep, I'm about to trip balls. That's exactly how I was feeling. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh boy, here we fucking go. Now I'm looking around the Applebee's, and Applebee's are not a great venue to trip. They're dimly lit, they're fucking dusty, and you always notice more of those things when you're tripping. At least for me, I always notice when things are dirty. Like the littlest speck of dust on a mirror, I'll get OCD about it. I'll be like, bro, we gotta get that the fuck down. We gotta get that off right now. So I'm starting to come up here and I'm kind of looking around, trying to find something cool to look at. But all I can notice at this point is how fucking dirty it is in this restaurant. I pointed out to Michael, I'm like, Michael, bro, it's kind of fucking dirty in this Applebee's, man. He's like, yeah, dude, it kind of is. We're sitting in this bitch like health inspectors, as if we didn't sign up for Applebee's, right? As if we thought we were at some real fucking restaurant. We're sitting down, looking around, we're like, yeah, man, it's that ceiling fan over there, it's real dusty. That lamp, yeah, the bulb's got to go, man. We're sitting here looking around, we're just nitpicking. I'm not getting any crazy visuals yet, but my attention to detail is definitely elevated at this point. So we're looking around and we're just having fun talking shit about the place. We're like, dude, health inspector would shut this down. This place is dusty and crusty, bro. We're looking all around, right? Trying to figure out if there's anything cool to look at. And finally, Michael points something out. He says to me, look at that fucking picture on the wall over there. And I look over, and it looks like this. It's almost like the picture from the SpongeBob intro. It's like some 1700s era man, and it looked like they just went and robbed like Christopher Columbus's fucking shed and like hung a picture of him in this Applebee's. It was the most out of place picture I've ever seen, and I'm dying laughing at this point. I'm fucking crying. I can't believe that I'm seeing this. Michael's dying too. We're laughing our asses off. And Alyssa points out as we're laughing, she's like, yo, it's kind of been a while since we ordered. Like, where's our food at? So I'm sitting there and I look over at Michael and I'm like, oh, fuck. We still have food coming, dude. And he starts laughing his ass off, and I'm now laughing my ass off. We're at the stage where we've got the giggles while we're coming up. I can tell that this is about to be a fun fucking trip. So we're coming up, right? And I was debating at this point on asking Michael for a second tab, because at this point I was already tripping. There was no avoiding it. I might as well dose some more, but then I remembered my car was still in the parking lot. So we're not going to do that, right? We're just going to stick with this one.
Do you ever wish you were Sidney Crosby?
I just want to be me.
Well, I looked at my clock real quick, because after Alyssa made the comment that it had been a while, I realized, yeah, you know, we did order quite a while ago. I looked at my clock, and it had been a solid hour since we ordered. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, okay, it's an Applebee's, you know? Like, it's not like it takes that long, you know? So we didn't say anything, and the waitress actually came over to us, and she's like, hey, we're so sorry, we're having like a backup in the kitchen right now, we just, we like ran out of some ingredients, just saying random fucking words. I'm not processing shit what she's saying. To be honest, I don't remember what the fuck she said, because I was barely listening. I was staring at this woman's face. I looked like a deer in headlights. All I remember is making the most uncomfortable dead eye contact with this woman, and I could only wonder what was going through her mind at that point. She must have looked at my bowling ball pupils and thought that I had eaten something fucked up in the chips. She must have thought that they were all about to get sued over the guacamole they served us, because I must have looked like I had E. coli. I was probably cold sweating. I was fucked up, dude. So she says whatever fucking hib, jib, jabba, baba, whatever the fuck she wanted to say. I don't know. And she goes back into the wherever the hell, dude. Probably the kitchen. I don't know where she dipped off to, right? Maybe to serve another table. I'm not concerned at all about how long our food is taking at this point because I'm full on fucking tripping. By the time she walks away, the lights in there are suddenly not so dim anymore. The bar is very lit up and all the bottles on the bar are reflecting all the colors of the lights above. And all of a sudden, this Applebee's turned into somewhere that I didn't mind being so much. I'm sitting there and I look over to Michael and I'm like, bro, going to Applebee's was the best idea you've ever had. And Michael says nothing back to me because Michael's getting frisky. This guy's kissing up on Alyssa. Like, he's getting real. Dude, he's like whispering in her ear and shit. I'm sitting here and I'm like, bro, we're in Applebee's, dude. Like, you can't get horny at Applebee's, right? So I didn't dare look under the table. I don't want to know whose hands were where, but they were getting a little frisky, so I didn't want to interrupt. You know, they weren't like full on making out, but like, you know, Michael had his hand on her and he kept kind of kissing on her neck a little bit, you know, shit like that. So I'm like, all right, they're having a little horny moment here, so let's try to find a way to occupy myself, right? I'm looking around and I decide I'm going to go find the fucking bathroom. So I get up and I start walking around this restaurant. And for some reason, I go up to the front. Now, I'm walking up towards the front, and I see the host counter, and there's no one standing there. And on the counter, they have this little coloring sheet and a thing full of crayons, like these little, like, pre-sealed, like, crayons, right? They're sitting there, and I look, and I'm like, holy fuck. An activity. I completely forget about the bathroom. I walk right up to this host stand and I snag one of these fucking coloring sheets and I grab some crayons and I come back to the table and I sit down. Now, this must have clearly been enough to get Michael's attention because he took his head right off of Alyssa and he asked for a crayon. I mean, he's like, bro, slide me a fucking crayon, dude. Let's color this shit. So we've kind of got this sheet in the middle of the table, and we're both sitting here just fucking coloring, dude. We are trying our hearts out to color this shit. Like, I have never applied myself to a piece of art so much in my whole life than I did to this coloring sheet. I'm coloring in the lines. I'm adding multiple colors per little square section, right? We're coloring in just beautiful shit. We're drawing shit outside of the frame of the picture, right? We're just going full child mode, right? We have reverted to like Neanderthal level intelligence at this point. We see colored crayon, we color with the crayon. No more thought than that was used at any point for the rest of this Applebee's experience. So we're coloring this for God knows how long. It felt like an eternity, but realistically it was probably 20 minutes. We've now been waiting for our food for a solid hour and a half and there's nothing. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, but it wasn't that bad because we were honestly having a lot of fun and tripping balls, they bring our food out. Now, as I'd mentioned earlier, I got the sirloin, which is a grave mistake. First off, I feel like if you're going to a restaurant to get steak, you should just get a better cut than sirloin. If you don't want to spend that much money, just get something else, dude. Get like pasta, get like chicken or something, you know? But sirloin steaks are not great to begin with. And Applebee's sirloin, listen.
Ooh, something for my wish list. Come on, Mom.
I'm pretty sure I could marinate this fucking steak in my own spit, and it would taste better than the shit they put on that plate. Because do you guys know how a Burger King burger tastes? You know how it has that really weird, like, fake grill taste to it? Like, almost like they use like that fake charred effect, you know, and it gives it that really fucked flavor. That's what the whole entire steak tasted like. And it was overcooked, which it's Applebee's, I'm not complaining, but like, listen, I like medium rare, and this shit was definitely closer to well done. Like, very close. So I'm a little disappointed. But I'm tripping so hard that I'm not even hungry anymore at this point. The chips had filled me up, and now I'm tripping. And yeah, I can eat sometimes when I'm tripping. But if I've eaten recently, you know, before I start tripping, then I'm probably not going to want to. And that's kind of what applied here. I took like 2 bites of my steak and left it there. And I was just chilling. I was done with it. I threw my napkin on top of my plate pretty quick. Michael, on the other hand, is going in on these chicken fingers. He's going ballistic. This man is eating these chicken fingers with such dedication that there is a little puddle of ketchup developing on his shirt. Now, I've never in my life seen Michael eat this aggressively. He's like a very thin, like lanky guy, but he eats like a fucking truck, dude. Like, only when he's tripping. I learned this around this point hanging out with him, right? This guy eats when he trips, but when he's stoned or on anything else, like, he doesn't eat like that, bro. The guy, like, we'll go to McDonald's. This guy won't even finish his damn burger, bro. We're at this fucking Applebee's, and this guy's eating like he just got found in the wilderness after being stranded for 2 weeks. He's going in, dude. So he's got some ketchup all up on his shirt, and we're laughing about it. I'm like, dude, you fucked your shirt up. Alyssa's trying to clean his shirt off for him and shit, being all cute. But he keeps fucking moving, so it's just getting smeared more on the shirt. Now they're just arguing about the ketchup smear on the shirt, and I'm sitting there and I'm just slamming my water, right? I'm just enjoying my drink. The waitress comes back and she notices that I've got my meal covered up, and she's like, oh, you didn't like it? Like, I'm so sorry. Can I get something else? And I'm looking at her and I feel bad, because did I hate it? Absolutely. But I'm not the kind of guy who complains at restaurants. Like, I feel bad, you know? Like, I don't know why. Do I have, like, the right to complain if something's bad? Yeah, I guess, because I paid for it. But I always hate putting the waitress or the waiter in that situation. It's like, whatever, dude. I'll just grab some McD's on the way home or something, you know? Like, it's cool, man. At least the cup of water was cold, you know? Like,